Hello and greetings. I'm Bob Garrison, the Chief Editor at Prepared Foods, and we're tremendously excited to bring our 39th Annual New Products Conference to downtown Dallas, September 13 and 14 at the Dallas Marriott downtown. We are committed to bringing you the best industry information in the safest possible socially distanced environment. Kicking off our unique meeting will be Anne Greven, the Global Head of Food and Agribusiness Innovation at Rabobank. From its annual Global Food and Agribusiness Summit to its own Food Bites Innovation Network, Rabobank garners in-depth insights to ingredients markets, the R&D process, emerging new concepts, and new products. In advance of our event, I caught up with Anne to talk about just a few subjects that she'll be discussing for our attendees. Take a listen. Okay, so the pandemic certainly stifled a lot of CPG new food and beverage innovation on a lot of levels. And with this conference being in the fall, we're pretty much kind of trying to take a look ahead and help food and beverage companies look ahead to 2022. And so kind of with that, we're pleased to have you and to be keynoting our event. And I wanted to ask you kind of just off the top, what opportunities do you and Rabobank see for new product developers in terms of those in charge of R&D and innovation?
It's a great question. I think one of the things that I've really been exploring and recognizing as a huge opportunity is, we are coming out of the hottest summer on record. The announcement a couple of weeks ago really around the validity behind the science that is measuring climate change is real. It's no longer, I think it's irrefutable. It's no longer contentious. And so while that might not feel like an opportunity, I actually think it's a huge opportunity when you are evaluating the development of products and what that means for next future of conceptions around product innovation. As we think about climate change and designing our future climates, we now have the climate as a big component of design thinking. And that's a massive challenge that everyone is going to be facing. And in that massive challenge, that many people are going to have to come together to come up with the best solutions. And so it also creates opportunity. It creates this new opportunity to work together, to work more collaboratively, to come up with solutions. And we know that it's a chance to take more risk because everyone is also, just like you all, trying to find that answer, and there isn't one yet. So when we think about, even in the food space, what's happened this year, specifically in Brazil with the rainforest burning and a lot of our coffee crops under pressure, also with Colombia, the unrest in Colombia, and with massive climate change, then in the next 20 years, if we don't address it, the band where we grow our coffee will continue to shrink. And can you imagine not having your cup of coffee in the morning? What does that mean? And as product developers, what is the opportunity there? Do we create products to preserve the growing space for coffee? Do we look at extending and inventing new opportunities to use more of the coffee bean? These are the challenges that we're going to face, but these are also the massive opportunities. And there's not going to be one solution. To me, the excitement is there will probably be many, because I believe the technology and the ability to solve these problems is there. It's just about implementing.
I like the spin that you put on that. So the other side of that coin, again, then for our R&D leaders who are going to be in the room and hearing you, like what do you regard as the biggest challenges?
Well, I think the challenge in asking us to consider a new variable in product design, such as climate, as a more center of your design focus, takes reimagining, rethinking, retooling how we work within an organization. How are we going to measure and deliver success, and what is success going to look like? So it's actually asking us to recreate or create a new paradigm for success. Those are hard to do because there's multiple components that you need to decide are going to be those variables of success. And it's creating alignment, it's aligning your organization. And so I think that's going to be the challenge. But I think the urgency that the consumer is going to expect, large producers like many of those in the audience today will make those decisions happen faster. And so I think there is a path forward. It's not easy. It's not easy to rethink how we design our food and how we test it and how we bring it to market. But that's also what creates the opportunity. I would say, candidly, there are many of us who probably in the back of our minds think, well, if only we didn't have to do X. And maybe this is that opportunity to think, well, maybe we can not do this, but maybe we can add this and it makes it more impactful. So that would be the challenge, but also I always think challenges are bigger opportunities than we sometimes might believe.
One of the things that I love about Rabobank is your global, you guys have a global presence, a global view, and then through programs like your Food Bites, which it really puts you in touch at the same time with companies that are right on the cutting edge of novel ingredients, novel technologies. I wanted to ask it in your world, or do you have a perspective on challenges facing large manufacturers, and then, or the opportunities for those, and then the opportunities or challenges for smaller companies?
Sure. It's a good question, and I do feel that I'm very fortunate to think globally because my organization is very global. In fact, the benefit of having our headquarters in Europe and the Netherlands, where I would say in many of the big issues facing us now around climate and sustainability, they've been much more advanced in how they think and organize their organizations. But many of the companies even attending this symposium or this event are global, So being able to talk about the global challenges that they might face in developing countries such as India and, parts of Latin America and Asia are the same challenges we face in servicing our clients in that region. So we have perspective. We do know that larger companies who are across that global perspective with us have an advantage because they can. It's part of their the way they design their own thinking and how they look at the global delivery of food. But that can also sometimes, create a clunkier, harder, less nimble organization. And that's where we see emerging growth companies, whether they're, in Asia, we have several coming out of the likes of Singapore and Australia, parts of Europe, even Latin America. They are more nimble to operate in those challenges and are actually teaching large corporations how to do that better. Yeah. So it is this nexus, this position, this central position that we play really does allow that insight that can be very valuable.